Alright, so what I've done is coming here this morning and it had one of these threaded bungs in that's welded from the inside. So just cut that off, grinded that flat, and then Mike is about to take the hole saw and we're going to cut a hole in this thing and basically sit this thing about right there somewhere. Alright, welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday afternoon and we are going to try to get some stuff done this afternoon off the checklist. So I'm going to, Mike welded up the puke tank. He got that done, so we're going to clean out the trunk, get that mounted back in, get the lines hooked back up, get all that wiped out, and then once that's hooked up we can finally put the back of the car back in. We can fix the rear window and put the rear window back in, because I think that's what I'm going to focus on tonight. We ordered the throttle pedal, so I went with one of them stock car style ones that it does have the pullback. I greatly appreciate everybody's concern to make sure we have a pullback on the pedal. So I ordered one of the stock style ones that's designed to go through like on a dirt car through the tunnel. But the thing about this one is that the shaft is splined, so the arms are adjustable. All the ones that are fixed look like when they go through the tunnel on a car, it's perfectly fine, but mine are not going through a tunnel, so mine's gonna be mounted underneath the dash. So I need like the gas pedal obviously to be at this angle, and then I need the throttle pedal to be back at this angle. You know, that way it can pull the cable when you press down the throttle pedal, versus the other style ones that are fixed, they're at like the throttle pedals at this angle, and then the rod's kind of up here at this angle. So I've got a firewall right here, so I need the pedal to be like this, and then I need the other piece to be like this. So the nice one I got is splined. I was going to order one that like that's designed to like bolt to the firewall, but it was like 160 and basically does the exact same functions the same way as the one I did order for $100. The only thing about the one I ordered for $100 is it's designed to go through the tunnel, so the mount is like this. Like if you're sitting in the seat, the mount is like straight because it's supposed to go through a tunnel. So I'm just gonna have to fab some brackets to mount that. I didn't want to waste my money on the one that goes on the firewall, because it's like, how about if I get it and then it's too close to the firewall and then I have to make brackets to move it closer to me anyway. So that's the reason why I was like, I might have to end up fabbing brackets. I might as well order the one that's gonna save me $60. It's equally as nice, like it's the same exact unit pretty much, it's just the mount's different. So we got the pedal on the way. TKM sent me the reluctor wheel. So when they originally built my engine, motor, whichever one y'all want to call it, the reluctor wheel was left on the block, I'm guessing, somehow. I don't even remember. But Skinny actually messaged me and was like, hey, is this yours? Like a couple months later, and I was like, I don't even know what that is. And he was like, it looks like a reluctor wheel off of something. He's like, it has to be yours laying around. That's the only it wouldn't be for nobody else probably. And at the time I was like, yeah, I guess it's mine, send it out. And he was like, cool, I'm gonna send it your way. He did not send it my way. So I actually had carried the other week when me and Mike were at the shop, I carried the torque converter and all of that to the shop with no flywheel, no reluctor wheel. I'm an idiot. So we now have the flywheel because I already had that. We've pulled it out of storage and we have the reluctor wheel also. So we are ready to go on the transmission torque converter and do all the repairs surrounding the transmission. This weekend is July the 4th, so we can't work Thursday, Friday. I think Mike's taking off like the whole rest of the week. It's Tuesday, and Mike checked out at like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever it was. So he is done for the whole week. So Thursday and Friday, I'm not gonna be able to get him to work at night. So I'm shooting for next weekend us to take this car back to the shop and do the transmission stuff, and then hopefully Jason will be calling anytime now. Transmission and possibly anti-roll bar links, so we'll probably just do them on the lift because it'll be super easy. Besides that, yes, some of y'all are commenting that we're combing through the to-do list. Yes, we are down to like hardly, barely anything that needs to be done here. We still have all of the nuts and bolts, grease stuff. Like we got to nut and bolt the car, grease stuff. We got to torque some bolts on the Procharger that were never torqued to spec. But we're going to do all of that in one night at Mike's house after the car is running. I'll carry it out there and we will nut and bolt the whole entire car. So not worried about none of that right now. Fire lines still to be done. Drive shafts on the way. We'll need to do a second drive shaft safety loop. We need to do the seat mounts, the new seat backrest mounts. Maybe get that in next week or something. That's not even a huge deal right now, because I could technically throw the other ones back in to drive the car around. Yeah, the to-do list went from like this to really, it's getting really small. So I'm gonna get at it. I'm gonna get this trunk cleaned out and get this puke tank back in. It's gonna be hooked up for the last time, and I'll show y'all that. I forgot Mike's freaking drill bit, man. I forgot his hole saw. So I need a 2-inch hole saw. So I don't even know if I'll be able to put it in tonight. Because I need a 2-inch hole saw to be able to drill the hole that goes down through the floor. And I did not have one here. Man, I knew I was gonna forget that thing. So I don't know how much I'll be able to do on that. Let me see if I have something that's even slightly a little bit bigger that I can make work to drill a hole in the floor. All right, so I have this ghetto cheap 2-inch hole saw out of this freaking ghetto kit that like Eddie found in the trash can, like out of a flip car, and I brought home because it's got some drill bits in it. Watch this, watch the drill. See how much that thing moves? So we're gonna try to cut this hole. Even if it makes it a little bigger or oblong, that's fine because I'll probably silicone up around it. Let me see if I can get it cut with this. All right, so this is what Mike threw together for us. He welded in our bung. He actually welded that one in from the inside. You can't really see it, so that's pretty slick. He went from the inside so you don't have no weld on the outside. And then he put our pipe on. We got rid of our other bung that was here, so I cut that off. He drilled that for the 2-inch and then put that on. And what we did was we made it so that this sticks a little bit out below the floor structure. So hopefully it hangs out about 1/8 of an inch below the floor. So I'm gonna sit this in, loosely put these bolts in so that I can trace a Sharpie around this hole saw out where that is roughly. And then I can set it back in and silicone around that and bolt everything together. And then, you know, your cap goes on it. This is like a $45, I think, fuel cell off of eBay. So this is pretty freaking awesome compared to paying for a burn down tank because they are not cheap. And then I think this pipe was like 15 or 20 bucks. I think it come from China. I don't even remember where this pipe come from. I had ordered it, you know, and then we had welded in the burn down fittings and all that. So this thing works perfect for us and saved us a bunch of money. And that is where the radiator overflow tank feeds into. So if the radiator overflows, it goes into that tank that's down there, right there. And then if that overflows, normally that would vent onto the ground, but instead it has a line that goes all the way back to the trunk to the puke tank so it don't get on the track or anywhere. So let's get this thrown in. Well, of course, as always, my junk isn't worth the crap, so that's going in a trash can. I got the job done. It's messy, just like last time I used this stupid cheap kit. I don't know if the other ones are bent or if it's the drill bit or whatnot, so I'm not gonna like throw the whole kit in the trash, but all I can tell you is that that big 2-inch one, that's the second time I've used it in aluminum, and it makes an absolute mess. It basically wallers out the hole, ouch, wallers out the hole and wallers out the drill bit hole. So that's the last time we'll deal with that. And of course, in true fashion of mine, it's wrong still. So as you can see, I thought that me and Mike would be shifting this pipe over enough. You know, we were literally just guessing it. I didn't use no measurements. And of course you can see part of the cross member. So basically there's a bar that goes across here that there's tabs welded off of to secure the puke tank. So I was thinking that, okay, well, I'll just hole saw straight through the whole thing. There still should be enough meat at the bar left where I want to do nothing. But that hole saw is such crap. As you can see, it wallers out the holes. It jerks around everywhere like this that I was able to fight with it and get this hole cut. But yeah, so what I think I'm gonna do now is we're just gonna notch this. So that's trash. Is I'm gonna come on the bench and I'm gonna mark my straight line across here, and I'm just gonna notch a slither of this back out because I will silicone all this up anyway. That way, if fluids does overflow and rush out, you still have all of it except for that little tiny, you know, piece right there that basically the tube will sit on top of there, and you'll still have, you know, 75% of that hole. So let me get this notched out slightly, and then we'll get all this metal shavings cleaned out of this trunk, because we still have not cleaned this out since we did the 4-link, and we'll bolt that in, and we will wipe everything down and get this trunk where it's finally cleaned out and done. All right, so I couldn't handle all the scratches, like all this stuff is scratched up, because I did not base coat. Everywhere you see silver is scratches, because I didn't base coat clear coat this. If y'all were around whenever I did this piece of aluminum for the floor, we literally just rattle canned it with trim and bumper paint, and we just chunked it in because I wanted to get it done right then and there, and I didn't want to take it to the shop. I should have base coated and clear coated it, because if you slightly touch this crap, it, like, you know, just scratches right off. Whereas if it was base coat clear coat, even if it was a matte black, then it wouldn't do this. Or if I use the same stuff that I used over there, which you can't see, then, which is a bed liner, it was a 2K bed liner in a rattle can, then it would have also held up a million times better than this stupid rattle can. Like, watch, I bet that scratched it. Let's lay this down. No, little tiny scratch, you can't see it. But so I went ahead and masked up. All I did was run a little bit of tape around the perimeter, around that chrome trim ring and stuff, and across that board, that carbon painting piece that we did up there, and went ahead and just hit it with a little rattle can so that when you pop the trunk, it doesn't look so bad up in there before we put this thing in, because it's not my style to have stuff looking like crap. So now I'm gonna run some silicone around that hole that we just drilled, and then carefully sit this thing in, and hopefully it clears, because I'm not gonna test fit it, because that's not my style. My style is to paint everything, have everything looking good, put it in, it don't clear, and then I have to take it all back out with silicone all over it and all that crap. Normally that's how I do things. So I'm gonna, in true nature of myself, I'm gonna do it like that. So let's get some silicone on that and then throw it in there. Why did I silicone that? I don't know. It don't make much sense to silicone that when you got this right here, and you got that little gap right there where your drain goes through, especially this right here, which this is technically a shifter ring, okay? So you could technically buy a shift boot and run these lines up out the shift boot. However, there's a lot of lines that go through here. There's still one more that's got to go through here. So we will not be sealing that up. So makes no sense to silicone that at all. It's pretty pointless, but I did it. It looks good underneath the car, no complaints. It is what it is. Let's see if you can even see it. It's back there. I'm gonna try to zoom in because I'm not trying to lay here in all this metal. So that's how it looks. Really need to get that little bit of silicone off, but I'm not laying down on this floor and all this crap and metal right now. So when it goes to the shop and it's up on the lift, I'll peel that little bit of dried silicone off, but I think that'll work perfect. It's not blocking enough. Honestly, by the time the thickness of the pipe and everything, and I think it is shifted a little bit more this way, it's perfectly fine. So that's our puke tank. It's done. All we gotta do is make the connections on that side, hook that up, hook our coolant overflow into there, throw a fitting on it, or throw a hose clamp on it, and that is done, man. We're gonna put this deck in and wipe this trunk out. Well, look at that. We have a clean trunk again. Hook the line up, so that goes in there. Everything's good to go. So we are done. The only thing I have to order is a cap for that, and we'll do the vent line that will go down there this weekend. I'll have to run out to Advance and get some lines. Dude, we are freaking done in the trunk. Like, besides the battery, and it has to be wired. There has to be some wiring ran, but we are freaking done. How about that, y'all? How about that? We're talking checklist, ching ching. We are knocking this stuff down. Let's throw the back in. All right, before I button this up, because we're about to put the window back in later on at a later date. I need to change this seal because it lost like all of its stickiness. But there it is. Got all that back in, and we're gonna move on to fixing this back window, putting this back window back in. Got all the tin work bolted up, wiped down. So let's put this back window and bolt it up, move on to the next one, man. This is, dude, we are finalizing stuff. So under the hood, like I just posted some pictures to my Facebook because I've been slacking so much. We are 95% done under the hood. Like, I mean, all the lines are there, all the belts are there, everything is there. Minor things, you know, like paint that bracket, put the little braces on it, finish just kind of laying out the throttle cable, headers, which obviously is not, I don't count that as my gig. Besides that, like, you know, the wiring, a little bit of wiring under here. I mean, we are 95% done. Fire line, still got to do the fire line. But, dude, I mean, we are literally, if y'all are following along with this channel, we are literally checking areas off and done. Not like mock-up done, not like finalized done. Like, we are done. Like, it is wiped down. All of this is wiped down. I don't plan to do no more grinding, really. You know, everything's wiped down with wax and everything. And this weekend, you know, like I said, he'll get a bath again and probably a wax again. But this thing is like, dude, we're getting close. So let me chunk this back window in. We got that done. We're gonna call that a wrap for tonight. All the other little white stuff you see all over it, it's trash. I don't have time to clean it, man. It's past 11:30. I still got to shower. I still got to edit this video for y'all, get this out to y'all. So hang with me. We're close, guys. We're close. I keep saying that every time, but we really are. I still have little stuff to do. I'm still going to be out here every afternoon. Zeus fastener tabs still have not been done. Fire lines have still not been done. I keep repeating myself. I just run out of time. But besides that, man, it's coming together really, really fast. So hopefully we will be able to put this thing in the enclosed trailer to take it to Jason's for headers instead of on an open trailer. And speaking of putting it on a trailer, we got to do the front other two hood fastener pins. So still got little tiny odds and ends to do throughout the week, but we're cleaning this thing, finishing it up, and hopefully by Monday night, this thing will be washed and waxed, and majority of everything will be done. You know, of course, when the drive shaft comes in, we got to throw the drive shaft in. Of course, we got to go to the shop, do the transmission stuff, but like most of it will be hopefully wrapped up. So like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will catch y'all on the next update. Thanks, y'all. And a piece of advice on the back window, if I could go back and redo it, or the next one I will do, I'll probably put my screws 2.5 inches apart. 2.5, 3 inches apart. Probably go to 2.5. I think 2 inches is a little too close. Maybe not. Maybe 2 inches will work because the sides of these are 2 inches. But if you do your math on 2 inches, then you could probably get between 2 and 2.5 to lay out and look right, versus I did my math on, I think, 6 inches apart or 5 inches apart. I think 6 inches apart. And so I was trying to squeeze them down the side, and so now it's where they're not all even, whereas if I could redo it, I would have did the math on the correct spread. So if you're doing one of these back glasses, Lexan or whatever, especially this back one is thinner, so it has more flex to it than the front. The front's thicker and it doesn't do the, you know, humping up between the screws. I would recommend 2 inches, at least 3 inches, no less than 3 inches. But if I was gonna do it, like I said, 2.5.